Hello and welcome to JobCare Live. My name's Rowley and I'm going to be your host with you today. We're running a new series that's going to be based on Fridays, and we're going to run it monthly to all the people in the JobCare network. So feel free to subscribe and keep watching out for more. Today we're going to be having a conversation with some of the team that work at JobCare to kind of give you a little bit of an introduction to who they are and what services they can offer. Also, over the coming months, we're going to be hitting on subjects like talking to graduates, the future of work, how to navigate career change when you're over 45, and a few other topics. So if you feel like you want to ask questions or have suggestions for us, please put them in the comments and we'll get to them hopefully with the Q&A with potentially our CEO, but also a whole group of panel members to be able to come on and give their insight on your questions. So I'd love to get the team on today and have them introduce themselves. I'm joined by Ian, Michael and Matthew today. Gents, over to you. I'd just like to introduce yourself, Ian, and say how you kind of got here and like what it is that you're bringing to JobCare.
Thanks, Rowley. My name is Ian Ridpath. I am the job club leader at JobCare. A little bit about my background. I've been working a number of years in a variety of different managerial roles, and I came across JobCare when I was unemployed, and I was looking for somewhere that I could apply my skills of management, but also my heart for community and my heart for helping others who have been in similar situations as myself. So that's when I came across JobCare, and it really kind of matched my background perfectly.
Michael, what about yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. So I'm Michael, and I work as part of the team as well with Ian and Matthew and Rowley, mainly doing training, providing information to people that come on the various courses and programs. My background is I used to work in sales and business development, worked for lots of multinational companies over the years, and then was made redundant, I suppose the wrong side of 56, in the last big crisis we had, which was the banking crisis, which feels quite similar to this. And at that time, I came across JobCare and joined the organization and have been able to sort of give some advice back based on my own experience.
Michael, thanks for that. Matthew, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Matthew Huber. As you can tell, I'm a recovering American. I've been living in Ireland for about 15 years now. I've worked for over 20 years in the charity sector in different areas of fundraising, coaching, mentoring, and spent a few years working as an independent coach, helping artists develop their businesses and their skill. And so I love helping people to think creatively and come up with creative solutions and to develop leaders who aren't typical of your what you'd really see in a corporate setting.
One of the things that I find super amazing about JobCare is the fact that we get to impact kind of hundreds, if not thousands, of people a year and help them on their journey. But one thing that is kind of comes up again and again is the fact that people don't kind of really know who we are. Like they get introduced to us or they're referred to us, and you know they find us and they're like, oh, we don't really kind of know who you are. So, like, what do you think it is that's unique about JobCare in terms of how we're set up to help people? What are your thoughts, Michael?
Over the time I've been in JobCare, over the last 6 years, I've observed a lot of things, but one of the main things is that people come into the organization and they always say that there's something different about it, that there's some kind of a unique thing, that feeling that they get in the place. And I suppose that's it. It's about the clues in the name, really, JobCare. So the people that are working with them here, like ourselves, have all been through unemployment, been through that difficult period, understand what's involved, and are able to bring, that understanding and empathy to bear when we're talking to people who are unemployed. So I think that's one of the unique things that definitely makes the difference.
Ian, what do you reckon?
For me, JobCare offers an opportunity for anybody, no matter what stage of the job seeking they're at, to come and get some help. I know for myself, when I was job seeking, it was really difficult for me to put myself out there at times, or even have the motivation to put myself out there at times. But JobCare offers that community of people who all are in the same boat, who all come from different walks of life and different backgrounds, and there's a shared goal. There's a commonality about it. There's a lot of opportunities to feel like you're not alone in your job search. So I think that's something that JobCare offers.
And Matthew, what have you seen?
I'd have to really agree with Michael and Ian. Like we are encouraged, and we kind of practice a community of care within the organization, and so we want to not just work on the practical skills that people have, but really invest in their lives and to care for them as they pass through our service.
What can the participants who come for our services and our courses and programs, what do you feel like that they can take away? What's really key piece that they can take away?
I think for me, when you're job seeking, and it's something that we practice and we will preach about at JobCare, but I think when you're job seeking, a lot of it is about your confidence. A lot of it is about how confident you are when you're actually hunting for the job, when you're prepping for the job, when you're interviewing for the job. It's about the confidence that you bring throughout that whole process. I think when I'm on screen, well, at the beginning of the pandemic, I think it was a big hit for a lot of people's confidence for a big variety of reasons. And I think when you start, like I mentioned before, when you start to look for work and when you start to look for roles that suit your skills, or you're not sure about what roles suit your skills, you're not sure about where you're meant to be or what kind of spot you're meant to have, it can knock your confidence quite a lot. So I think when you come on to one of our courses or one of our programs, and I speak for myself when I was also doing it, I think one of the first things I needed to work on was how to get some of that confidence back. One of the first things I say to people when they come on the JobNet calls, JobNet is one of the programs that we run, but one of the first things I say is, well done for being here. But well done for being on the call, well done for starting that process, and well done for, you can take some confidence in even that you've moved forward.
Well, you've been here a little while, Michael. What have you seen?
Well, I think one of the first things that we really talk to them about is growing their network. And that has become such an important part of your job search now, more than ever. I suppose we often, use the example of, everybody's done it. We've often asked, does anybody know a good mechanic or a good plumber or a good electrician or a good babysitter even? And you'll take that recommendation. And what's happening now is companies are taking recommendations. So they'll ask their employees to go and find somebody good, and they'll pay them actually a bonus for doing that. So companies have cottoned on to this idea of utilizing your network. And what you need to do as a job seeker is to make sure that your network is fully activated. And we spend a lot of time with people showing them how and where and the way they need to do that, particularly with LinkedIn, for example.
I think some people might find the idea of kind of having to grow your network a bit scary and even a bit more daunting now, because we don't have networking events. And like what would you recommend that our people are able to do even virtually?
Well, I often say to people, really possibly, the contact for your next job is already in your mobile phone. You just need to access it. So the first step is literally look at their contacts. Look at the people they've worked with in the past. Look at the people that were on a course with them, or neighbors or friends or whatever. Like, really get stuck into activating your network and start with people that are going to talk to you. So start easy and ease yourself into it. And we do provide quite a bit of guidance and coaching on that on our various programs on how to do it and where to do it.
I was only chatting to somebody yesterday about how difficult it is in 2021 to actually pick up the phone and make a phone call. It's not a normal thing for us to be doing anymore.
Yeah.
But actually how important it is, even just to practice that. Like,
critical.
Yeah, I was listening to the Jordan Harbinger podcast, and he was saying that one of the things he does every day, he says it's just 4 or 5 minutes. It literally doesn't take long. As you scroll to the end of your text messages, and you find that kind of old colleague, that that person that you maybe used to play kind of tennis with, or something that you're connected with, and just drop them a quick text, like, just, hi, how are you? Like, what's going on? Obviously, things are a bit crazy, but recently we haven't been in touch. Is everything okay? And just go back into it. Now, you said, like, avoid your, exes. You don't have to go there, but it was just a great way to be able to go and see people you'd already had a conversation with, and probably, a year or two later would be delighted to hear, from you, how you're doing, what's going on, just a little bit of a reconnect. You don't have to ask for anything. You don't have to say anything. Just make that connection. Just kind of get in touch. And I thought that was a great little tip.
And actually, Rody, people are more willing now than ever to help. If you reach out to people, you'll be surprised at how positive the response is.
100%. Yeah. What have you seen since you've been with us, Matthew, and your involvement in kind of delivering courses?
Well, I think one of the things that I've really noticed is JobCare's professionalism, and how we try to be professional in everything that we do, but also the interaction between the clients. You're in a situation where you're interacting with people who are in the same position you are, and they want to help you. They want to be helped by you, and it helps you to see how other people are working, and what techniques other people are doing to find work. And so, as Michael said, their networking happens on the courses, and somebody will see a job ad that doesn't work for them, but will work for somebody else in the course. And we've seen those connections get made. On one of the job seekers courses that we ran, one of the clients had a spare laptop, and she actually drove it to another client's house and let her borrow the laptop for the duration of the course. So it's that kind of mentality and attitude to help each other out goes a long way. And going back to the idea of networking, if someone were to come to us and say, I'm really struggling in this area, can you help me out? We would be more than happy to help. But when we're the ones who need help, we kind of assume that nobody wants to help us. And so I think a big step is just being willing to get out there and say, this is where I'm at. How can you help me? And you'll find that there are loads of people who are willing to help and interact and be there for you.
Matthew, that's great. Thank you. So we talk a lot about the kind of toolkit that our job seekers kind of have to develop. Like, from the courses that we offer, like, what parts of that toolkit are people able to develop? Like, what does that mean, and what do we offer in terms of helping push people forward?
Well, the centerpiece of any job seeking toolkit is the CV, and we kind of look at the CV as this generic document that everybody has, and everybody's CV says the same thing. But we really want to build that and use the CV as a precision tool. It's something that can be sharpened and honed and communicate something very specifically about you. And that begins with understanding how to read a job ad so that you can apply those keywords and those specific skills that the job ad is looking for, and highlight them on your CV, so that when a hiring manager gets your CV, they see the connection between you and the job you're applying for. I'm very passionate about CVs.
Yeah.
You can hear that, all right? Absolutely.
I think one of the phrases I heard from one of our speakers once that I really liked was, your CV needs to unlock the DNA of who you are as a potential employee to a company. And so that's why it's really worth spending time and effort in it, into getting it right.
I remember looking back at one of my CVs a little while ago, and at one point I had a 5-page CV. It was monstrous. It was so big. And only as I've honed some of my own skills, or some of my own ideas around what a CV should look like, then coming on to the courses, or coming into JobCare, I realized that nobody wants to read a 5-page CV. Nobody has the time for it. Nobody wants it. It's way too big.
Listen, Ian, you're too young to have a 5-page CV.
I know.
No, I think that's a really excellent point. and we either want to put everything in, or we don't know what to put into the CV. And so I really think that that thinking of the job first, what do I want this company to know about me before I dig into that, or before I put it out there, that I'm thinking that job first and answering the questions that they're asking.
Another key area, obviously, then, in the toolkit, you've got the CV, but interview techniques is the next thing. And I suppose we find, that either people are sending out their CV and getting called for interview, they go for an interview, but then they don't get the job. So that's another area that we'll zone in and focus on and find out, well, what's going wrong there? What's happening in their answers? Something is letting them down, because if you're called for an interview, you're nearly there. You're nearly there. You're in a short list. So we spend a bit of time working with people on, how to answer the questions. What are they really asking? What are they really trying to find out? And we're seeing changes in the trends now as well, because employers now really want to get a bit of a sense of you at an interview, not just, your answer to competency-based questions. They want to get a bit of a sense of who are you really, and will you fit in to the team? And are you going to be a good team member and a good colleague to work with? So, interview questions are evolving, and we're spending a lot of time talking to our corporate partners about what kind of questions are they asking and what are they really trying to find out, and making sure that the people who come on our program and courses know what's expected. I
think another piece of the job seeking toolkit is your LinkedIn profile. Mm-hmm. Even for what we wouldn't typically consider the LinkedIn person, a lot of companies will use that as an extension of your CV. And so if you have a LinkedIn profile, they'll go there to look for extra information. And so it's kind of a bonus place where you can stash more information. You can expand on some of the things that are in your CV. And so it can really be an important piece as you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's where talent acquisition people are hanging out. They're hanging out there in packs looking for you as a potential employee, and you just have to be there.
How do we encourage people to keep going? Because you might be applying for jobs for weeks or even months on end before you're kind of getting anywhere, getting to the place where you're being offered work. How can we help people? What does that look like to help people to kind of keep going?
Sometimes I feel like when you're putting in application after application after application, and you actually just click and apply, and you're scrolling through jobs and you apply and you apply and you apply, is that the right thing to be doing? Should you just be applying to all of the things that you see? And do you actually want those jobs when you're looking at them? Do you want that, or are you just clicking because now you've sent 50 a day and you can tick that off your list? I think what's really important before you even get to that piece about being resilient is actually knowing what your spot is and picking your spots, is actually understanding what you want to apply for, why you want to apply for it. For me, it's about what gives me life. And I know sometimes not everybody has the opportunity to do that, but when you're looking at applying for jobs, I think it's important to be looking at what is the spot that you want to be in. And are you clicking for the sake of ticking a box, or are you clicking because you want that role?
Yeah, I think as well. Obviously you're sending out, you're applying for jobs, you're researching the company, and this is something that we find people don't do enough of. They don't really put the effort in to research the company. I've often asked, recruiters and employers in the companies that we work with, what's their pet hate? And their pet hate is to find somebody sitting in front of them for an interview that has not really done the research, that has not looked to see what the job spec really is looking for, and is blowing the interview. So, putting time and effort into researching the company. And as one of our facilitators often says, try and put yourself in the shoes of the person who's interviewing you. What is the problem that they have? Because they have a problem. That's why they're conducting interviews. So try and be the answer to their problem.
Michael, I think you make a great point there of employers hire when they have a problem, and understanding what their problem could be. I think we always, when we're applying for work, we think of ourselves in that situation, and instead thinking, what does the company need and how can I answer that? So as you're going into an interview, trying to understand the company as much as you can, doing the research online to find out what you can about the company, so that when you get in there, you can position yourself to say, this is how I fit on your team. And there's a lot you can't know, but again, thinking, they're looking for this type of person, or this skill set. How am I answering that question?
Hopefully, some of what we covered today is encouraging to you, and potentially might even have piqued your interest about JobCare. So I've got one kind of last question, and that's, how can somebody get in touch, find out more, and potentially even sign up for one of our programs?
Well, you can go to our website, jobcare.ie. We're also on a variety of different social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, or you can just send us an email as well. One of the biggest ways that people come and find us is through word of mouth. Like, we've got a lot of people who come to us knowing that somebody else has had a really positive experience from us. And if somebody tells you that they've done a really positive course and they're really feeling like they're further on in their career progression, you should have a look at it. Go and have a look at it. Take their word. Like, word of mouth is key. But yes, go to the website, give us a call, drop us an email, and we will be more than happy to see you on one of our future courses or give you a helping hand.
That's great, Ian. Thanks for that. Gents, I think we're just about at the end of our time we have today. So I just want to say thank you so much for your contributions. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Rolly.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Rolly.
That's all we have time for today. If you follow us on social media, you'll be able to find out when we're doing our next session. It's going to be specifically focused on graduates and what resources are out there for graduates. So if you just graduated or you're about to graduate this year, follow along and see what we've got to say, what our experts have, where you can go and find out more, and what we can offer here at JobCare as well. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye now.